You walk into a room and your intuition lights up. You're alerted, you know something is energetically in the room, but you're not quite sure what it is. So today, let's walk through trying to figure out, is it stagnant energy? Is it moving energy? Is it a stuck spirit? Or is it a guide or someone who has crossed over? We'll break that down today. Okay, there's a lot of different things that this can be. I know if you're watching this channel, chances are really good if you're not already actively using your intuition. You've been in a situation where you've come into a room or an area, or you've driven through an area, or perhaps you're just walking through a park outside and your intuition just lights up. You know something is there, but you're not quite sure exactly what it is at first. And today I want to talk about steps on how to figure out what that is, because if it is a stuck spirit, we want to be able to know that so we can help. If it's stagnant energy that needs to be moved, we want to know that so we can, help move it along. If it is flowing energy, sometimes we want to know that it's not stagnant, not stuck, it's purposeful, it's supposed to be there. Sometimes we want to know that so we can, maybe use that energy for the highest good. Last but not least, there's loved ones, guides, those that are coming through from the other side. We want to know that too, because perhaps they have a sign for us. So let's set the stage again. You walk in, we'll make it a room, make it very easy. You walk into a room and you feel something. Now, everyone's intuition is different. Everyone is highly intuitive. So if you're watching this thinking, well, my intuition doesn't work as well as other people's, nope. Everyone's intuition is very strong. It's a matter of focusing on it and honing it. So let's say your intuition's open. You walk into a room and you pick it up. You know something's going on. For some of you, that's going to be you feel something or you get a gut feeling. For others, you might see something or hear something. So I'll try to talk about it in a bunch of different ways for each of these four possibilities. And also remember, everything's possible. So while I'm talking about four possibilities in this one, there is unlimited possibilities of what it could really, what could really be going on in the room. Now, you walk into the room, your intuition lights up, you feel it. You know that there's something in the room, but you're not quite sure. Step one is to categorize the intuitive feeling as either positive or negative. This is going to divide these right out, both of them, into it's either stagnant energy or a stuck spirit, or it's positive energy or a guide. We'll leave it at that. We'll lump loved ones and other beings into the guide category for now. So stepping into it, that's your first step, really, is to sit with it. Even possibly sort of take a step back for a second and then step back into that energy. You don't even have to physically step back and step back in. You can just, reset, clear your mind for a minute, and then settle in to tap in and allow your intuition to speak again with the intent and the purpose of feeling if it is a positive, calming feeling, or if it is a tense, kind of maybe fearful or stagnant feeling. This is going to, again, divide these four into two different categories. It's either stuck or it's not stuck. Let's start with the not stuck, because in the end, we're going to want to figure out how to help the stuck, right? So let's start with the not stuck. If you feel when you reset, even no matter what you felt initially, okay, no matter what you felt initially, when you reset with the intent to feel if this is a positive energy or a negative energy, you are resetting to set yourself up to feel if this is a higher vibrating energy or a lower vibrating energy. So let's say you reset and, yep, okay, I feel like it's a higher vibration. I feel calm and peaceful and secure. That's going to tell you that it is either a positive energy that's flowing through the area that is purposeful and supposed to be there, or it's going to tell you that it is a guide, aka also loved one, et cetera, that might have a message. Second step with this is going to be to feel, is it everywhere or is it central in one area? That's going to help you to feel if it's flowing energy, meaning it's everywhere. It's like like you'll feel like you're in like a large swimming pool of water or a large cloud, or it's like all around the room, right? That typically, not always, there's all possibilities, but that's going to typically tell you that this is an energy that you're dealing with and not a conscious being. And I'll tell you why this works too. If it is a guide, loved one, et cetera, and you will feel as if it's centralized into one spot in the room. Now, let me tell you why this works. It's not that that's the actual case. It's not that the energy of the flowing energy is fills the room. And it's not that the energy of the guide is all located in one spot in the room. It's your intent. It's your intent. So when you set your intent to feel the difference between the two, is this an energy which I'm intending would feel like it fills up the entire room, or is this a being which I would intend that it feels like it's standing in one location in the room? That intent helps determine the difference between the two. So if it is energy and you've set that intent of, if it's energy, it's going to feel like a whole cloud of energy in the room, you'll feel that. If you set the intent that a guide is going to feel like all the energy is located in one spot in the room, you'll feel that. Now, how does this unfold for different intuitives, different individuals? Some people are going to pick up on this visually. Perhaps they walk into the room, you reset, and you say, you feel positive, negative. Okay. Maybe you see positive signs, or maybe the room gets a little bit lighter, something like that. And then you say, okay, all right, this is either, a guide or positive energy. Okay. Now I'm setting the intent to feel if it is either energy or a guide. Visually, you would see, some form of energy all throughout the room, or a condensed version of energy in one spot in the room. If you are audible with your intuition, you might hear a sound all throughout the room, or you might hear a sound coming from one point in the room. If you're a feeler, you might feel it all the way around you versus feeling it right in front of you. So it's different for everyone. Now, let's jump to the negative one. Because this, I always love to encourage people to help in situations like this in a safe manner, and I'll walk you through that, right? But I always encourage people, if you can do good in a certain situation, and it's easy to do that with a little bit of unconditional love, please do so. And I'll walk you through that as well. Now, let's go all the way back to, you just walked into the room. This is the other scenario. You just walked into the room and you felt an energy. Let go of the feeling for a brief moment, reset, and set the intent to feel the energy again. Is it negative? Is it positive? Low vibration, high vibration? And you feel this time uncomfortable. Maybe you feel fear. Maybe you feel like kind of dissociated or confused, or maybe you feel anxiety or something like that. That tells you that the energy that is in the room that you just walked into is either stagnant energy, imprint energy, or it is a stuck spirit, an individual who is stuck in their transition, crossing over to the other side. So next step, you feel that it's negative. You're like, all right, it's one of those two. Exact same thing. Your next intent needs to be, okay, is it all throughout the room, or is it in one location? You're going to really approach it in the exact same way. And remember, it's your intent that actually allows you to feel intuitively in your intuitive style, whether it's all around the room or in one location. Now, an energy imprint is stagnant energy that has been there for a long time. And it's typically, most of the time, everything's possible. Most of the time, it's there because something with a very heightened emotion to it happened in that spot, in that location previously, whether it was the day before, an hour before, a week before, or 10 years before. So an event happens, to heightened emotions, really intense emotions in the event, and the energy of those emotions remains in that location, even though the people involved in the event have moved on. So you feel it, it's all around you. You're like, all right, this is definitely stagnant energy, otherwise known as like an energy imprint. And a great technique, very basic, in order to clear this energy. And you'll know if you should clear the energy or not when you try this. I'm going to pause there to say, well, why wouldn't you clear that energy? Right? Because sometimes energy does need to remain in a location for an important purpose. Perhaps future people coming through that location need to feel a little bit of that energy in order to enhance the experience that they're having, in a positive way, like encourage them to lift up, or bring awareness to something. There's a lot of different reasons why, but most of the time you can clear the energy. So, super simple technique. Just imagine a broom. Imagine a broom and anything you want. A lawn bag, right? Where you put leaves in. And imagine just sweeping up the energy like you would raking leaves into a bag. And your imagination with this is the key. That sets the intent, that moves the energy. And when it comes to energy clearing, you putting your focus on that energy is what allows you to be able to do this work, right? How many people have walked through that room and they felt maybe a little irritated when they walked through the room, but they've never stopped and focused on the actual energy? So now you're here, you're focusing on the actual energy, and you're saying, this is my intent. I want to move this energy along, clean it up, clear it up, right? So any sort of boxing it up, bagging it up, very simple. This doesn't have to be complicated at all. And you can do it in a second. It's not something that you're going to have to stand there for 20 minutes imagining, right? Your intent is powerful. Your intent and your intuition, they're not really on linear time. So it's not like you have to put in X number of hours to do something like this. So picture it swooping up, into a bag, into a box, boxing it up, collecting it in any way that, makes sense to you. That's your intent, right? When you feel you have it, contained in a box or a garbage bag or something like this, send it out to the universe, asking the universe to, turn it from negative, stagnant energy and release it back into positive energy. You don't even need to do this yourself. You can simply send it out with your intent of love, that this energy that was once stagnant and dark or doomy or sad or whatever it is now collected, gathered up, sent back to the universe to be, transformed back into the white light that emotion starts as from the origin of where emotion comes from. That's what you would do when it comes to an energy imprint. And when I said earlier too, how do you know if you can clear it? If you can't bag it up, if you can't box it, if every time you do it, it just doesn't seem to work, it might be that energy needs to stay there, right? Might be. And that's something we need to consider. The other piece of this was, you walked into the room, you reset, you felt that it was a lower vibration, more of a negative vibration, and then you set the intent to feel if it was energy through the room or an individual spirit. This time you feel that it's an individual spirit. You feel like all of the energy is like in one location in the room. In this case, you would work to help that spirit cross over. Because as I say, I have, other side chats, which is another YouTube channel. And like I say in there, ghosts are people too, right? A spirit that's crossing over is a person, and they're working through their journey to the other side, and they're stuck for some reason. Now, do we need to know why they're stuck in order to move them, help them to get closer to crossing over to the other side? No, really, it's kind of the same thing. You just need to be present with them. Now, there's going to be exceptions to this. There are going to be spirits that are stuck, that are difficult or stubborn or things like this. And in that case, it's helpful to reach out to somebody that does crossing over work. That's a very positive, thing to call someone up and say, hey, I ran into somebody, they're stuck. I'm having troubles crossing them over. Can you assist me with that? But for the most part, the majority of individuals, when you put your attention on them, send them unconditional love and witness them. Then they're seen. They're actually seen, like, okay, someone sees me. And you're sending them energy that's unconditional love, which is high vibrating energy, which is going to help pull them closer to their destination, which is the other side. Most of the time, that's really all you need to do is take a second to stop, to see them, say, I love you, whoever you are love, and, keep going on your journey. You can do it. Most of the time, that's going to help. Yes, there are a lot of times where it's a little bit more difficult than that, but in general, it's always worth a try. I tell people it's like walking down a sidewalk and seeing a kid that's lost. You're gonna stop and check in with them. Hey, are you okay? Where are your parents? Kind of thing. Do you need me to help you find them? And that act alone, just recognizing, is going to get, the kid moving toward their parents again. That act alone is going to recognize the spirit, the person who is stuck as they're transitioning to the other side, and help them complete that journey, which is really meaningful. Now, I will say here, this is really, really important. Very, very important. If you come across an energy in a room and you reset and you set the intention to feel if it's a negative energy or a positive energy, and you feel that it's a negative energy, I mean, even before you do that, you should still GCP. You should always have some sort of spiritual protection, not out of fear, not out of oh, if I don't do this, it's going to get me. No, spiritual protection, the intent of it is to recognize your energetic space, claim your energetic space, so that any help that you're doing with either stagnant energy, or a stuck spirit is done really kind of outside your energetic space. And you can send them the love that they need without taking on any of that energy. It's going to make you more effective in the work that you do. And it's a wonderful thing. GCP takes a minute to do. It's an intent exercise. It's super easy. I'll make sure you can find a link somewhere in here. Here we go. And start doing it every day in the morning, when you get up, maybe at night before you go to bed, and do it just for yourself in walking through your, day-to-day life, knowing that you're protecting yourself from taking on energy you don't need. That's all the protection means. And by doing this on a regular basis, you'll be more quick to do it when you run into situations such as the one that we just covered. So if you're out and about, and whether it's inside or outside, traveling, holding still, walking slowly, it doesn't matter, and you come across an energy and you feel it, no matter what the first feeling was, reset, go positive, negative, set your intent to feel if it's positive or negative. If it's positive, that's awesome. Feel if it's energy all around you, feel if it's a loved one. From there, you can take it into what is this energy all about? How can I use it for the highest good? Or you can go into having, opening up communication with that loved one or guide as your intuition gets stronger. If it's negative, GCP. Promise me you'll GCP, and then sweep up that stagnant energy, or assist that spirit in crossing over by recognizing them, saying, I'm here, I see you, and I'm sending you love to help you on your journey. This is really the best technique I've seen in general for figuring out what is it that I just walked into, right? It's here, I can feel it. What did I walk into? And yes, there's a lot more information that keeps going on beyond that. But today, this was really about just how to differentiate. And I think it's important to differentiate, at least for myself. It helps me a lot to be able to know what the heck to do with this stuff. And I hope that helps you out too. I love that you're on your intuitive journey. I want you to click subscribe to make sure you get all the new videos that come out. And remember earlier when I said ghosts are people too? I think a great video to watch next is the difference between ghosts and spirits. I think you'll love it.